Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a story that feels like it was ripped straight from a Hollywood blockbuster. But this isn't fiction. This is the audacious, meticulously planned, and still debated story of the largest cash robbery in the history of the United Kingdom. We're talking about the 2004 Northern Bank Robbery in Belfast. Picture this, it's late 2004, just before Christmas. The city of Belfast is buzzing with holiday cheer, shoppers are out, lights are twinkling, and everyone is getting ready for a festive season. But behind this cheerful facade, a highly sophisticated criminal enterprise was putting the final touches on a plan that would stun the nation and the world. Their target, the Northern Bank's cash center. A fortress-like building believed to be impenetrable. The heist didn't start with a bang or a smashed door. It started silently, with a chilling knock onto separate doors on a quiet Sunday evening, December 19th. The targets were two senior bank officials, Chris Ward and Kevin McMullen. At their homes, armed and masked men, posing as police officers, gained entry. This wasn't a smash and grab, it was a terrifyingly personal home invasion. The families of both men were taken hostage. The robbers' instructions were chillingly clear. The men were to go to work the next day as if nothing was wrong. They were to act normally, greet their colleagues, and perform their duties. Any deviation, any hint of a problem, and their families would be harmed. The psychological pressure was immense. Imagine having to go through your daily routine, smiling and making small talk, while knowing your loved ones are being held at gunpoint. So, on Monday, December 20th, Chris Ward and Kevin McMullen walked into the Northern Bank headquarters. They were the robbers. Inside men, but not by choice, they were puppets. Their strings pulled by the unseen gang holding their families captive. All day, they worked under this unbearable stress, waiting for the signal. As the workday wound down and the building emptied, the plan kicked into its final, critical phase. Following the robbers' instructions, the two officials began the process of letting the gang into the bank's cash vaults. This wasn't a simple case of unlocking a door. It involved navigating complex security protocols, timings, and procedures that only they, as senior managers, would know. The gang, now inside the fortress, worked with cold efficiency. They knew exactly where to go and what to do. They loaded stacks upon stacks of banknotes into a waiting van. The sheer volume of cash was staggering. They took both used and brand new and circulated notes, a detail that would become crucial later on. By the time the gang disappeared back into the night, they had made off with an astronomical sum, approximately £26.5 million. That's over $40 million at the time. The scale was unprecedented. The bank officials, their ordeal finally over, were able to raise the alarm. But by then, the robbers and the money had vanished. The news broke the next morning, sending shockwaves across the UK and Ireland. The largest cash heist in British history had just been pulled off, not with explosives, but with psychological terror and insider knowledge, albeit forced. The precision and complexity of the operation pointed towards a highly organized and disciplined group. Immediately, suspicion fell on the Provisional Irish Republican Army, the PIRE. Both the British and Irish governments, along with the police service of Northern Ireland, publicly blamed the organization. The timing was politically sensitive, as it came during a delicate phase of the Northern Ireland peace process. The PIRE, however, officially denied any involvement. The investigation was massive. A key challenge for the robbers was what to do with the money. A large portion of it was brand new, with sequential serial numbers. Vending it would be risky. In response, Northern Bank made a bold move. They announced they would recall and reissue all of their banknotes, making the stolen notes effectively worthless. It was a race against time for a multi-million-pound money laundering operation. The police net began to tighten. In February 2005, a major breakthrough occurred, not in Belfast, but hundreds of miles away in County Cork, in the Republic of Ireland. During a raid on the home of a man named Ted Cunningham, a financial advisor, police found over £2 million, believed to be part of the stolen Northern Bank cash. This discovery seemed to link the heist to a wider network, reinforcing suspicions of paramilitary involvement. However, bringing a successful prosecution proved incredibly difficult. Several people were arrested and questioned over the years, both in Northern Ireland and the Republic. But the case was a legal maze. Ted Cunningham was initially convicted of money laundering. But his conviction was later overturned on a technicality. He was subsequently convicted on lesser charges. Another man, Chris Ward, one of the bank officials initially held hostage, was himself arrested and charged with the robbery. The prosecution argued he was a willing participant, not a victim. It was a dramatic twist. However, in court, the case against him collapsed. The judge acquitted him, stating the evidence was insufficient and that he had no case to answer. Ward walked free, his name cleared. To this day, despite the arrests and the small amount of recovered cash, not a single person has been successfully convicted for carrying out the robbery itself. The vast majority of the £26.5 million has never been found. It has seemingly been laundered, spent, or hidden, vanishing into the criminal underworld. The Northern Bank Robbery remains a masterclass in criminal planning and execution. It exploited human vulnerability to bypass a state-of-the-art security system. It triggered a political firestorm, a massive police investigation spanning 2 countries, and a dramatic recall of an entire currency. Yet, its central mysteries endure. Who were the masterminds behind it? Was it truly the pyre, as authorities claimed, or another group? And the biggest question of all, where did all that money go? It's a chilling, fascinating tale of when real life becomes more dramatic than any crime thriller. What are your thoughts on this incredible story? Do you think we'll ever know the full truth? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more stories like this. We'll see you in the next one.